Hi guys, so I've come on here today to address a couple of things, some updates. I should be moving to New York City in October. Hopefully around that week of the first of the month in October, I should be moving to New York. Um, but the other one that I wanted to discuss is the government, apparently, according to certain sources. I haven't done much actually Googling it. I just saw some videos about it on YouTube stating that the government was trying to take away marriages between different races. So if a white man marries a black woman, they're trying to take away the right to marry opposite, for opposite races to marry. And I think that it's just so wrong, and I just don't understand why the government is trying to dictate that, and it's just fucked up. And there's other stuff that I've been seeing videos on too, like the government is now making it legal to marry somebody at 14 or something around that. I think it was like 14. Like either way, they were talking about teenage years you can get married. Now, okay, for a lot of people that's going to be like, no, they're too young. Like that's just a lot. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like that is a really really young age to allow somebody to get married, while at the same time saying that people of different races can't get married is crazy. I hope they don't actually go through with passing a bill where people of different races can't get married. Like if a white man wants to have 8 to 10 babies with a black woman, he should be able to do that, and they should be able to enjoy their lives together. Or just, if they don't want to have kids at all and they just want to get married and be together, that's totally fine. But I don't think that they should have to worry about the government, or anybody should have to worry about the government taking that right for them to get married away because they are different races. Whether you're Mexican and white, Mexican woman marrying a white man, or Asian marrying a white woman, whoever you are, like I don't think that right should be taken away from you at all. I think it's just not going to work. And I don't know, I just understand that for me personally, if I ever did get married, I did possibly see myself more so getting married to a white man, because I think that white men are gorgeous and attractive, despite some of the things that I've experienced when it comes to racism and things like that. Obviously not all Caucasian men and women are racist, which I'm grateful for. I have a lot of beautiful supporters who are of different nationalities and races and things like that I'm very grateful for. But at the end of the day, it's like, if I decided to get married to a white man, if we decided to settle down together, now all of a sudden the government is talking about making that illegal. It's like, I just think that's so sad, and it's heartbreaking, and it just reminds me that, I'm not going to have kids. I already had my tubes taken out so that I couldn't have kids. Because I honestly, for several reasons, I didn't want to have kids, but I figured that if I ever did get pregnant, it would wind up being with somebody that I didn't even love. And 9 times out of 10, it would have been some random black guy that I wasn't in love with, that felt entitled to me and tried to knock me up and all that. And so, I'm just so grateful I was able to get my tubes taken out so that I can't have babies. And You know, they give you 30 days. That's like a government rule when a woman goes to get her tubes taken out through surgery, because they don't tie your tubes anymore. They take them out all the way out. They give her 30 days to decide whether or not she's changed her mind about the procedure, because it does prevent pregnancy lifelong. And after 30 days was up, I went through with the procedure, and I went under the knife. And while I was under the knife, they did a pap smear for me, because of sexual trauma and being a sex trafficking survivor, being a survivor of sexual abuse and different kinds of abuse as a child. You know, just different traumatic things that have happened to me, pap smears and things like that. When I go to the doctor's office or gynecologist, can be uncomfortable for me. So that's why I'm glad that while I was under anesthesia and passed out in surgery, that's when they were able to do some of that, the pap smear and that gynecology like stuff to me to make sure that I was healthy while still under the medication, so that I wasn't awake and I couldn't feel anything that would trigger a trauma memory automatically and just make me too uncomfortable to do it. So I don't know what I'm going to do the next time I need a pap smear or anything like that. I think they're going to have to figure something out where there's a lot of nurses and doctors in the room due to past trauma and things that have happened to help me through it. And they're going to have to do other little things, because they can't put me under anesthesia, obviously, every single time that they have to check my, my vagina and make sure that I'm healthy down there. They can't. So, yeah, hopefully they can do something with that. And yeah, those are the updates that I had. I don't know. It makes me sad, because if I did wind up meeting a nice white guy, who did have feelings for me, now that the government is trying to like work on taking that away, like, I wouldn't want to have to feel like we need to sneak around with each other in order to be with each other. It's just fucked up. Because as anybody else, I know it's not just me, but as far as other Black women and women of color, when you look at guys like Austin Butler or Timothy Chalamet, like, you could instantly think those guys are so cute and like fall in love for them, because those are like my favorite. We're talking like favorite male actors and biggest crushes in Hollywood. Timothy Chalamet and Austin Butler, so freaking cute. Especially, I've always been a sucker for green eyes, and Timothy Chalamet's green eyes are one of my favorite things about him, other than the fact that he has a very bubbly, cute personality, but he's also hardworking, masculine, strong, dominant. He's with Kylie Jenner. She's so lucky, and I think Kylie is beautiful. She works hard too, and she's got a lot of stuff going for her makeup line, all that type of stuff. Like, I love Kylie Jenner personally and the Kardashians. I think all of the Kardashian, Kylie Jenner family is absolutely stunning, and they deserve love and success. So I don't think that they deserve hate from people, because people are trying to say that they were perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards and all that type of stuff. Like, I just think people are just being too hard on them, and people need to be more kind and compassionate and loving towards them too, because they're human beings at the end of the day. Like Kim Kardashian, Kylie, Kendall, Khloe, Kourtney, all of them, their mom Kris, like, all of them are human beings. Like, they deserve love and respect just like any other person. So to kind of continuously try to make them feel bad, saying, oh, It's their fault because, you know, they were making women feel like they needed to have plastic surgery in order to be beautiful, in order to do this and that. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think plastic surgery, at the end of the day, no matter who is having plastic surgery in the media and in Hollywood, is a personal choice. At the end of the day, it is a choice that you make to go into that plastic surgeon's office and make any changes with your body. It really, at the end of the day, does not have anything to do with another person's choices. You know, the Kardashians didn't personally force you to go into a plastic surgeon's office or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, the responsibility and the reason you even consider that in the first place has more to do with yourself and your own inner struggles and certain things that have happened in your life that have absolutely nothing to do with the Kardashians and the Jenners. So I think it's so unfair and cold and mean of anybody to blame them for their own personal insecurities or whatever else is going on in their life that is bothering them. I think the Kardashians and the Jenners are their own. They can be loving and great people too. Like, look at what they did for Shorty. Remember how they met that homeless guy, Shorty? Season 1, episode, I don't know if it was episode 1. I don't think it was episode 1, but season 1, when they met the homeless guy, Shorty, and they helped him out and they offered him certain opportunities that at the time on season 1 of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians TV show, he declined those opportunities at the time. And then when they met him, I'd say within 2024, 2025, when they met up with him again, they offered him those opportunities again, and he took those opportunities and they got him a house. And, you know, that's just one of many main examples of how the Kardashians have shown kindness and compassion and love to other people, and that they're not monsters. They're not stuck up. They're not perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards. I think everybody should go out and buy some Skims or some what is it? Courtney's line is, I think it's called Plush or something like that. Sorry. And also Kylie Jenner Cosmetics, Kendall Jenner Cosmetics, their perfume lines, their makeup lines. Like, people should still be buying those things and enjoy them for who they are, as beautiful, kind, sweet, loving young women who worked very hard to get to where they are today. Since season 1, episode 1 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like, they are still legends. They are still, you know what I mean, self-made millionaires, and they work their way up to the top. You know what I mean? Like, with all the controversy, I think it's very hurtful, especially it was traumatic for Kim Kardashian, especially because Kim Kardashian, you know what I mean? Like, she started, like, all of the rest of the Kardashians and the Jenners on, you know, like, encouraging them through that lifestyle of fame and how hard it was. Like, you're going to be superstars and you're going to be amazing, but you're going to face a lot of criticism and you're going to face a lot of bullshit that I face on a daily basis as Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, you know, she had a lot of bullying, especially for people trying to say that the only reason she is famous is because of Paris Hilton. And she followed, you know, how she followed around Paris Hilton everywhere, and because her mom, Kris Jenner, put out a sex tape of her and Ray J. And that was very traumatic for Kim Kardashian because she did not want that sex tape released. It has not been confirmed that her mother, of all people, released that sex tape. And if you know that, if you were watching all of the seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which there's a lot of seasons, but I've seen them all. And I've watched every episode over and over again of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You would know that her and Kanye West, when she was married to Kanye West, They have since, within the past couple years, been divorced. But her and Kanye were having a phone conversation about how traumatic that sex tape was with Ray J. And she didn't want it released. She didn't want it out there anymore. And Kanye went and helped her get that sex tape like completely erased, like taken off, like where nobody can post it anywhere anymore, not even on the dark web, where people can have access to that tape of her and Ray J, that sex tape. So, and then there was a couple of years ago, another traumatic event. I'm sure there's been other traumatic events in the Kardashian life, like outside of, they were very close to their father. Their father passed away many years ago when they were very young. That had to have been extremely traumatic. And then on top of it, Kim Kardashian got robbed in Paris, I think. I think it was in Paris, because she was still with Kanye West at the time too. And, like, she genuinely thought that she wasn't going to make it out of that robbery alive. Like, she's like, if I can't get away in time and I can't get help in time, this is it for me. She even said that herself on Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Kendall Jenner was discussing stalkers and people showing up to her mansion unannounced, uninvited, and discussing guns and different forms of protection because of safety concerns of what happened to Kim Kardashian and what did happen, and what also happened to Kendall Jenner with stalkers and dealing with crazy ass fans or random men who would just show up to their mansions that they didn't know, they haven't seen a day in their life, and try to like get their attention or get inside of where they live, and like it's just super dangerous. So they were talking about owning firearms for their own well-being. Like, there's so many things that I learned about the Kardashians over the years. I could teach college courses like on the Kardashians. I could do a Kardashian Jenner. I could open up a Kardashian Jenner college and like teach nothing but classes on the Kardashians, and people could get through college through what I have gathered and what the information that I have educated myself on as far as the Kardashians and the Jenners and what their life story is, and that a lot of them have been through a lot, actually, especially Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian and I have a lot in common, actually, except for the having a child part. But as far as Khloe Kardashian and some of the traumatic things that she has been through, and her having the diagnoses of CPTSD, I have CPTSD, depression, anxiety, and a lot of people have been discussing that they suspect that I have bipolar disorder for several reasons that I will get into in another video. Why everybody, including myself, suspects I have bipolar disorder. But with her having CPTSD and OCD, I don't have OCD. But with her having that, those diagnoses are completely tied to trauma. And she has said herself how resilient she is, and how beautiful she is, and how strong she is. And she is all of those things and more. All of the Kardashians and Jenners are. They are so strong, so resilient, so powerful. They work so hard to get to where they are. Nobody can tell them any different, and nobody knows what they have to go through on a daily basis since episode 1, season 1 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, within their family, when the cameras aren't rolling and when the cameras are rolling, especially to lose their father at such a young age, their biological dad. It had to have been horrible. So I don't want people coming at them the way that they've come at them at all. I think that everybody deserves love and compassion and kindness. And I think that it's absolutely reasonable for people to want to love, enjoy, and buy Skims and anything Kardashian and Jenner related products. Because I still buy that. I would buy that stuff in a heartbeat if I had money right now. The only reason I can't buy that stuff right now is because I'm saving up to move to New York City. And I'm probably not even going to be able to afford things right away there. I'm going to probably have to stay at a homeless shelter until I can actually get into my own low-income apartment. Because I'm staying in a low income right now where they only take 30% of your income through Social Security, so that it helps me to be able to afford other things while having a food stamps card and other governmental assistance type things. So, even when I get to New York, I'm probably, it's going to be a while before I get into government housing again. So I have to make a way. And I've been homeless before several times, especially when I was out on the streets, and I was, I'm a survivor of trafficking. Like, I was out on the streets for a long time, and I know what being homeless is like for many years of struggling and not having family support, and having gone through a lot of trauma myself inside my family and outside of my family. I know exactly what that's like. Now, although the Kardashians have never been homeless before, thank God, I'm glad they haven't. They still had plenty of other traumatic things happen to them that I can personally relate to. As not just mental health diagnoses themselves, but certain things that have happened to them that I've learned about over the years that I don't really care to go into more graphic detail about. I think I've made my points as to some things that have happened to the Kardashians and the Jenners that I can relate to as far as trauma personally. I've been around dangerous men. I've been around drugs and violence and different things of that nature throughout my entire life in the past, and I'm sliding away from that. I'm in a much better place in my life. So even if I do wind up homeless again for those next couple months when I move to New York, at least I'm safe now, and I'm in a much better place in life than I was a few years ago. A few years ago, I could not say that. I mean, I didn't even think I was going to make it past age 16. I was writing out my own will in my bedroom. I was writing out what my funeral was going to look like as a 15-year-old girl. I've been through a lot of fucked up things. I've been through a lot of trauma. So I've been there, done that, and I know to support other people who have been brave enough to talk about what they've been through, even people who the rest of the world thinks that they're so rich and they're so famous that they couldn't have possibly gone through anything, and that's not true. You can be wealthy and you can have to what looks like to the outside world is everything, and then still go through trauma and still go through really fucked up things as a wealthy millionaire. The Kardashians the Kardashians and the Jenners are an example of that. They've been through hell and back, but yes, they're millionaires. They just happen to be rich. And they worked hard to be rich, but that doesn't fucking take away from the shit that's happened to them. And a lot of the stuff that's gone on in their family, personal life shit, and some of it they have shared on camera on their show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and some of it we have no idea about because there are some aspects of their life that we don't see, and they have every right to their privacy. And because it's a safety, again, it goes back to the safety issue for them. But, what it is I think that people should just nowadays put down their phones sometimes. If they are allowing technology to make it so that they can't have compassion for other people, so that they can't actually hold a conversation with other people, and everybody's just so uncomfortable with making eye contact with each other and interacting with each other and all that type of stuff. I mean, obviously I'm not saying that people have to do it all the time, especially if they're in a situation where they're uncomfortable with something somebody's doing to them, or they feel they're being bullied or ostracized. There are certain circumstances where I say you have the right to keep to yourself and you don't have to interact with people. But otherwise, as a whole, as humanity, I think we should just strive to do better, to be kinder to each other and more loving towards each other, no matter what our circumstances look like on the outside. We never know what people's circumstances look like on the inside. on the inside of their personal lives, what's going on behind closed doors, what's going on even out in public, because we don't see those people every single day. So we don't know the ins and outs of what goes on in their life or in anybody else's life who's like a 9-to-5 worker and a regular human being. So just to bear that in mind and like, yeah, just be better towards other people and not to bully people, because, you know, and then, you know, even as victims of bullying, we have to decipher, okay, am I just blaming my trauma and my insecurities off on people who have nothing to do with what happened to me? Because, and then the other side of it is not holding on to victimhood, right? So I've been through a lot, just like the Kardashians and Jenners, for instance, who are, you know, Kylie Jenner is dating Timothy Chalamet right now. She's a beautiful couple, by the way. I'm very happy for them at the end of the day. But am I going to then say, you know, oh, I'm a victim forever because of those things? I'm not a victim forever. I'm a survivor. I survived those things. I'm still alive at 30 years old to tell about it. I'm no longer a victim. I'm no longer suppressed. I do realize, looking back on the fact that I was ever insecure about the way that I looked or anything else about my body or me or my life, is because of the things that have happened to me, not because of certain celebrities, not because of certain things that were being shown in the media. Those things have absolutely nothing to do with me, and they have nothing to do with what I went through and what I survived. The real truth about it is, the reason I went through those things are because of the people around me, the adults that were around me at the time, and the decisions and the choices that they made to harm a child, and that child was me. Just like it was a personal choice for them to abuse me as a child, it is a personal choice to go and say, hey, I'm going to make these major body modifications and go and get plastic surgery. It's not because Kylie Jenner or a Kardashian or anybody else in her family is perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards. It's because you made that personal choice to consider that, or to even to straight up walk into a plastic surgeon's office and discuss body modifications of any kind. So yeah, that's basically all I needed to say. Well, obviously I'm going to come back later on, probably today or tomorrow. I have to decide on subject matter and all that. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. I keep forgetting to say that. Every single video, I forget to say please like, subscribe, and share. But I would really appreciate it if you would, because that helps get my channel out to more people who may be interested in what I have to say. So thank you guys so much for all your support. It means the world to me. Like, subscribe, and share for more.